Hey guys, it's Practical Psychology here, and I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Creative Vein. Now, I'm going to give more information about his channel at the end of this video, but for right now, let's go over some psychological studying tips. Have you ever pulled an all-nighter for a test, or gone into your room to study and just felt lost on some of the questions? There are times where we just do not study at all or learn correctly, and we have to improve on that. It feels good to automatically know the answer to questions, and even better to get a high grade in a challenging class. I went through most of my high school career just absorbing the information without having to study at all. But now that I'm in college, I have to prepare and actually work on my own time to earn my grades. Today we're going to be going over 8 psychological study tips to help you study more and learn quicker. So tip number 1 is to use different media. Just as many of you watch my animated videos on book reviews rather than actually reading the book, you should be using different methods of studying. You might have no motivation to read the book, and you might have slower reading skills. So watching a video with the same information will help you greatly more. A study in 2008 states, the more regions of the brain that store data about a subject, the more interconnection there is. This redundancy means students will have more opportunities to pull up all of those related bits of data from their multiple storage areas in response to a single cue. Now there are many ways you can use this. One very well-known site is Khan Academy, where you can watch videos, complete practice questions, as well as ask people in the community about issues that you've had. This will help you form all kinds of interconnections. A few other examples of switching your study methods are flashcards, YouTube videos, audio exercises, apps such as Quizlet, as well as just studying with friends at library or over Skype. So tip number 2 is to spread studying over time. Many students cram on the last day, and if you're watching this video while cramming, then you can still use this just less efficiently if you had planned better. Planning is a key component of life and can be applied here. If you have a test on Friday and it's currently Monday, then spread this studying over those 5 days. You will have much less stress, much less work each day, and will actually remember it better because each day you're only working on a certain sector of the chapter, leaving more room for intense focus. It might seem counterintuitive, but for most people you'll be better off studying a few chapters a day instead of all 5 at once. You have to be self-aware though. You could be in the slight category where this doesn't work for you. You just have to know how you learn best. The same idea applies to essays. Instead of writing it all in one day, staying up until 3 in the morning, each day of the week write one paragraph. And instead of 3 hours in one day, you'll get it done with 30 minutes a day, and you'll also probably earn a higher grade. Tip number 3 is to connect what you're learning with something you know. Now this is a key tip, and I found it absolutely fascinating in my life. Whenever I had related an idea in class to something outside of my life, I would remember it because I knew it could be actually applied to my life, rather than being something trivial that wouldn't amount to anything in my life. For instance, in biology we learned that energy can never be created or destroyed, but it could be transferred and changed from one form to another. Now I just had finished reading a book on how any obstacle can be turned into an advantage. So negative energy was actually a good thing, because you actually had something that you could convert into positive energy. So the same idea held true in biology and the same in my life. As an example, if you're angry, it's good that you have that energy because you can use it to work out. Now there's many ideas in science, history, English, and math that apply in real life situations. Think about how history repeats itself, or how you can use the English language to communicate more effectively as a leader. Or even if you own a business, how good you have to be with numbers to succeed. Another interesting yet useful example is to form any connection possible. For example, my brother was studying for his states and capital tests in the 5th grade. Now I taught him that Florida looked like a tallywhacker. I then told him what tallywhacker meant, and then he connected the tallywhacker idea to Tallahassee. And to this day, he still remembers what the capital of Florida is. It doesn't matter if it's politically incorrect or crude or whatever. If it works, it works. And that's what's going to get you a good grade on the test. Just, don't write tallywhacker as the capital of Florida. Tip number 4 is to test yourself. Now this is self-explanatory. If you quiz yourself and you do well, the confidence will lead to a higher grade. And if you do not do well, it will show you where you need to improve. Basically, it's going to help you be more self-aware. Now there are many ways you can do this, one of which is searching up practice tests online. And I did this when I studied for my driving test. You can also look at questions in textbooks as well as quizzing yourself with friends. There is no excuse to not do this as there are so many resources on the internet. Using this, you will see what you are strong at and you won't waste time studying the things you already know. Now of course studying the begin will help with interconnection in your neurons, but there's no need to waste energy. Again, Quizlet is a great site to visit for this in a pinch. Also, when you type in the initial questions and answers on Quizlet, this will also greatly help. Tip number 5 is to get sleep. I get it, if you're cramming right now or if you've pulled all-nighters in the past, then it may pay off once in a while. There might be once in a semester you actually end up with a B. However, as a general rule of thumb, you want to be getting a minimum of 7 hours of sleep a night to function properly. It's actually super important to your health. If you're not getting enough sleep, your IQ actually drops, if tested, as you're not able to think as quickly and your mental age drops. Now this can snowball into more stress, lower grades, and even less sleep in the future. If you sleep 4 hours a night consistently, you will burn out. It not only leads to being miserable, which is horrible in this short life, but it also leads to gaining fat and becoming less and less energetic. Now there's a rumor that Einstein slept 10 hours a day and had daytime naps as well, showing even that a genius needs sleep. The next tip is to sit at the front. Those that sit in the front are almost always get high grades than those in the back. In some classes where you're seated alphabetically, you can even ask the teacher if you can sit in the front because you can't see very well. It may be the stereotype that the worst students sit in the back, or it's just the fact that it's harder to concentrate when you're not being watched by a teacher. However, if you want to use statistics to your advantage, pick a seat in the front. If this is not possible for some reason, which is very rarely the case, then listen closer in class. This is more important than studying in many subjects, as the teacher is the one who makes the test, and will give tips inadvertently or purposely, allowing you to know what is important for the test and what is not. Asking the teacher questions throughout the class will also raise your learning retention rate. Tip number 7 is to use study breaks. Now for me, studying gets unproductive if I try to focus for too long, which is why cramming is ineffective after a while. You have to take breaks. What I like to do is break my work into chunks. For example, if I have to read 20 pages of a textbook one night, I will break this into chunks of 5 pages each, focus super intensely, and then take a 5-minute break in between each chunk. This allows me to enjoy the process and not see it as a daunting task of reading 20 pages in one sitting. Unless, of course, there are some occasions where I really enjoy reading and I just can't put the book down. However, this is not usually the case for most school readings. It has been proven that after 45 minutes your focus will begin to decline, but after a 5-minute break of walking, stretching, getting that blood moving, you will have enough energy to continue another 45 minutes of studying. And if you want a more scientific approach to this method, check out the Pomodoro technique. Tip number 8 is to work out. Now this is more of a lifestyle tip. However, your entire lifestyle is more important than one test. Similar to sleeping, exercise gives you energy to enjoy life. I'd rather enjoy life and do well for the most part, probably messing up on one test rather than cramming for a test, feeling drained for the next few days, than not having good habits. Working out makes you feel good about yourself. And I'm not saying that unhealthy people are bad people. However, if you want to do well in dating, social situations, and have more confidence, then having a fit body will help you dramatically. Now that we have those 8 psychological studying tips out of the way, the key is to apply them at your life one at a time. And not only your grades, but your entire lifestyle will change for the better as well. I want to say that this was another collaboration video with Creative Vane, and he has some amazing videos like this on his channel. In fact, he created most of the script for this video. I highly recommend you go check out his videos. If you want to see the first collaboration we did together, here's the 8 first impression tips. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.